Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. We have got a great show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about expecting progress you can achieve. Expecting progress you can achieve. And, you know, what I love to do with that is start to break that down. For many of you, you have heard me talk about a little bit here and there about my own journey. But today, what do I want us to kind of think about? What is the new level of awareness that I wanted to share with everyone? You know, if you just listened to the previous show, then you heard Chad and I talk about this idea of time isn't the problem, you are. What I didn't say is what actually happened this weekend. So I think that he thought, Benny, that I went and played like an hour of table tennis, right? But no, I did not. I played hours of table tennis. But what else happened over the weekend? And why is that such an important part of what we talked about? Well, here's what it is. When you tap into what it is you love, whether that is listening to music, whether it's watching the stock market, yes, there are people that love that, whether it's sitting and watching the next best episode on Netflix, maybe spending time over the weekend with your sweetie, just snuggled up doing all of that. Or you might be out in the world saying, I love coaching women to excel. I love coaching men. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the word love. And that is an energy and a life force and a vibe that when we say the word love, when we say the word thrive, when we say the word possibilities, what does that mean? What does it sound like? What does it look like? Here's what I know. We're really good at figuring out what doesn't work. We're really, really good at figuring out what we don't like. And what I want to say about that is that for moments and moments and moments of time, and somebody says something to you like, wait a minute, let's go to the movies. And they say, yeah, let's go to the movies. And you say, let's go see the latest Bourne movie. And they say, no, I don't really want to go see that. I don't like that. And you go back and say, well, wait a minute. What do you want to see then? Well, I'm not really sure, but I don't want to see that. And you spend 20 minutes back and forth, with this other person identifying every movie playing in the movie theater. It's really easy to know what we don't like. But how about the possibility of tapping into what we do like? And if love seems like a just forever stretch, meaning that I don't know how to get to love, I'm just trying to get to like. I don't know if I can think about, this idea of what Chad was talking about today, truth telling a little bit. Maybe we can compromise by accepting, here's where we are in the evolution of things and where we are in the world today. We have the ability to be in the know. We have the ability to have such an acute level of awareness that the only thing that prevents us from having that level of awareness is the conversations we have with ourselves about the fact that we don't believe that we have that awareness. And I want to say that in the scheme of things, the minute we buy into our limitations, that is the minute that our limitations show up in our lives and become not the exception, but become the norm. Have you ever thought about maybe sometimes what is it you want to happen at that job that you have? Or maybe what is it that you want to see in your life that perhaps you haven't been able to accomplish? Or maybe you want to have a sense of what that next aha moment's going to be for you. What if I were to tell you that every moment that you exist in this earth skin is an aha moment waiting for you to know about? I know it's a little mind-boggling, isn't it? But what if there was a possibility that every moment, every single moment of your life was an aha moment, and all that needed to happen was our ability to turn on the aha moment awareness switch? What if that was it? What would your life look like? How might it change? In the previous hour, we were talking about a couple of different things. But I think one of the things that Chad was talking about, and he talks about in his book, is that one of his chapters is life is unfair, get over it. And I was saying to him that, I found that a fascinating chapter because I thought about this idea of getting over things. Now, if you're out there in the spiritual world, if you're out there in the New Thought community, if you're out there in the human potential movement, rarely do you say get over it. But if you're me, who grew up on the East Coast, born in New York, lived most of my life in New Jersey, getting over it is something that we hear quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it's almost a level of consciousness sometimes, because the pace by which things happen, at least in New York City. And let me give you a specific example. I remember walking in Manhattan once, close by Rockefeller Center. And I remember walking in Manhattan once, and I dropped a nickel or a dime or a quarter. I don't know what it was. Let's say it's change. And I'm walking down the street. And it was a nickel. It was a dime. It was something like that. It was change. And I know I dropped it. And so what happened in that moment, I'm like in the middle of it. Can you guys even imagine what New York City looks like picture this on like a Saturday afternoon on the weekend, that all of a sudden now, Saturday afternoon on the weekend, that they're going to light the tree in Rockefeller Center. And we're all walking in the direction of Rockefeller Center, getting ready to light the tree. We're all walking there. And we're walking. Here, this is the moment, right? You walk in these crowds of people and you're kind of going with the flow of it. I'm telling you that there is a flow to New York City, Manhattan in particular, right? I mean, the other boroughs have a flow. I was born in the Bronx, but there's a flow. So you're walking down the street, you got the flow going, and everybody's going. We're all going to Rockefeller. Maybe we're going to stop in, FAO Schwartz or something. Maybe we're going to stop there, but no, we're going to get to Rockefeller Center. We're going to get to the tree. We're going to get there to see the tree. We're going to probably go in a little French cafe that's across the way from there, eat something that's about 5,000 calories, have some very, very dark coffee. Probably going to do this, make sure we're warm enough. Everybody's millions, it feels like millions of people are going. But, I drop a quarter, I drop a dime. I don't know what it is. It's a quarter, it's a dime. But all of a sudden, I'm obsessed with my quarter of a dime. Do you know what happens when you stop on the sidewalk in New York City? When you're stopped, and especially if you're stopped close to a corner on the sidewalk of New York City, and you're attempting in that moment to look and stop and bend down for this quarter. Now, if you're going to do that, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, then there's a level of awareness that you should have. One is, if you're going to do that, people are going to walk around you. There's no question about it. They're not going to be rude. They're not going to knock you over. That's not what I'm here to tell you about. But there's a level of awareness that you have. I'm going to pick up my quarter. When you stop and pick up your quarter and you find that you now have a different point in time that you're at, I don't know how long that takes. Did it take 20 seconds? Did it take 30 seconds? Did it take a minute? How long did it actually take me to find my quarter on the street? My dime, my nickel, whatever. But how long did it take me to find that? Now that I found it, first of all, I had to take my glove off. Then I had to pick it up. Then I had to put it back in my pocket. What happens when I don't take a nanosecond to be aware of my changing environment? What happens when I don't take a second to think, where am I? Where do I want to go? How quickly do I want to get there? And is it okay for me to proceed energetically and otherwise? Here's what happens. You stand up, and instead of being in a place of calm, awareness, and peace, you're in a place of stress and panic. Did you lose your friends? Where are they? And you take that next step out. That next step happens to be against a green light in the middle of Manhattan, and you take that step, that nanosecond that you're not aware, you're me, because your focus is on getting there, not on where you are in the moment. What might happen to you? I'll tell you the good news for me. That step didn't end up in disaster for me in that day. It could have. It could have ended in disaster. But I'll tell you what happened for me as I stepped out against traffic in New York City. The good fortune I had on that day for me and my momentary lapse of awareness, that momentary lapse of awareness, the good news for me was the cab that was turning that corner at some crazy speed stopped to pick up the guy next to me who flagged him down for a fare. So at that day, at that time, in that moment, on that street in New York City, my innate ability of awareness, which I know I have, what I said before, what if every moment was an aha moment? My life got saved. That's not always how it happens. So what did I suffer on that day is a new level of awareness that I'm sharing with everyone here today. What did I learn from that? I learned to keep your head up and make sure you're always aware and don't ever miss your aha moment, your opportunity. So on that day, I got the brunt of a lot of people moaning and groaning, a cab driver that stayed on his horn pretty much until the light changed and I got across the street. And I did get to Roosevelt. I did get to see the lights turn on. Didn't ice skate, but I'm telling you, awareness is the key to where you want to go. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with my very special guest today. Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken, a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I just got into the groove with that. And I just wanted to say that we're talking about expected progress you can achieve. You know, what does that even mean? I shared a little story with you about that today. And, you know, I am so thrilled to have Carol Dorian from Spiritual Diagnostics joining me today. And why is that? Why is it that we are talking about expected progress? What is spiritual diagnosis? What is it? What is it? What does that mean? But here's what I know. You know, what Carol covers in her show is this idea of healing and understanding that we have progress every step of the way. How do we know? Well, you got to be aware. That's what I was talking about. During this show today, we're going to be opening up phone lines, and Carol's going to tell us about what this journey is like. You know, longtime student, she's going to be able to tell you about herself. But most importantly, she has said yes through a level of awareness, a level of knowing to what her passion and purpose in life is going to be. And does she do this like everybody else? Absolutely not. When you have the spiritual DNA and you're able to tap in and look at issues and help people heal, it is really a gift. This is what today's show is about. Carol, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
It is absolutely fantastic to be here. I'm delighted to be here. And I want to say I totally loved what you were talking about, because that is that moment when you are present, you are focused, you are aware. That is the awareness. And that ties into being in the know. And that is all about when you are at a place in your life that you are not looking backward, you're not looking forward, you're just looking in the present moment, understanding what is around you at this time, touching it, feeling it, and allowing that moment, experience, and feeling to take you where it's going to take you, and it will take you where you need to go.
Yeah.
If you're present.
Yeah.
You know, when you talked about where you were at,
Yeah.
you were focused on that moment. That moment that was right there.
And there's nothing wrong with the idea of bending down, picking up a quarter. That wasn't really the issue. I was focused on picking up the quarter, the dime, whatever it was going to be. I don't know why I did that, but I was focused. It was going to be a nanosecond activity, right? But then I realized I had to take my glove off. I couldn't pick up the coin, had to take the glove off. By the time I was done, my friends had passed, and I was at the curb of a street and not even aware of the lights, the changing, the this or the that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
That is not, but don't you think that is what happens more times than not for us, Carol, right?
Oh, completely, totally. Not aware of everything that's going on around you and focusing on one specific area or one specific task. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Now we're opening up the phone lines today. You've got something really cool planned for people. For those of you out there, we're going to be taking your calls. Carol's going to tell you what's going to happen during those calls and what else she has planned. 1-800-930-2819. Going to get to work with Carol directly right on this show right now live. 1-800-930-2819. Tell us what this show is about for our listeners.
This show is about progress. It's about moving forward. It's about being in the know, opening the seam, finding your inner guru, and reaching the finish line. So for people who want to call in, if you have questions about the journey you're in or the journey you were in and what it means, where it is that you desire to go, you just can't seem to make sense of what's going on around you, you'd like a little bit of enlightenment, or you'd like to be able to tap into what is happening within yourself. There's so much happening within all of us, and sometimes we just need that catalyst to be able to hear and receive our very own messages. So for those of you who need any type of questions answered, if you'd like to know what is going on around you and find the ability to tap into the lessons that you've already learned and the healing that those lessons already contain, you can call in, ask these questions. I'd be more than glad to answer anything and everything that's going on. And also, people who call in after the show at my personal number that I can be reached are going to receive a full life reading with a diagnostic free of charge.
Yeah, wow. So this is really very important for everyone out there, that we just got done talking about what it means to be stuck, how to take these steps. What is it that is calling us forth in our life? I mean, we have gone through a lifetime, Carol, of, how should I say it, not exactly healing ourselves with methods that actually work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we undo that?
I deal with so many people from so many different walks of life, going through so many different things. And then I deal with some people who are going through exactly the same things. And you can have, let's say, 5 people going through the exact same issue or type of situation in their life, and they feel stuck in the exact same areas. But it does not mean that the exact same method of healing applies to their situation, even though it's totally the same. For an example, you can deal with somebody who is going through an issue of self-expression, and they may be feeling, well, I've read about the chakras, and that goes directly to the throat chakra. I'm going to be doing some chakra balancing, and I'm going to learn about that. I'm going to take a class. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to work with a healer. And they're working on their throat chakra, or they're working on a chakra that they feel matches the symptom or symptoms of what they're going through. But yet they're finding, no matter how much I've done this type of healing, or this type of research, I'm still going through the exact same situation. And that is because sometimes we are going through a misdiagnosis. It's like, if this is what the symptoms and signs are, this must be what it is. And that's not always the case. The person who is going through a difficulty expressing themselves, it may not be a throat chakra issue. It can actually be an issue that is stemming from a confidence issue. It can be something that's storing itself in the solar plexus. It may not be a chakra issue at all. It may be a damage that the aura has not released. It may be a retention from a prior lifetime. It could be a situation from this lifetime in childhood. It can actually be hereditary. It may not be auric. It may not be past life. It may not be chakra. It may actually connect from spiritual DNA, the hereditary energy that you receive that conducts the way that your spirit, aura, mind, and body take in certain situations. So if you have somebody treating an ear infection, but really what's going on is there's something cardiovascular, they're not going to get to where they need to be. It's two totally different spectrums. So what needs to happen, the methods that have been applied, they become stitched into the fibers of the auric field. So it literally, if I was looking at this person's aura, not only the experiences that they've gone through are going to be apparent, but the methods that they have applied are going to show up. And what they literally look like is stitches. It looks like it's sealing the aura. So if the experience or the method of healing is creating the stitch that's in the aura, it needs to, if it's not correct and if it's not proper, it needs to be opened up. And when we open that up, what are we doing? We are getting to the essence. We are getting to the root, and then we're getting past that. We're getting to the seed that was planted that even created that root. So that is what I call opening the seam. It's getting to what is really inside of what we've stitched. You know, we can sew something, we can place something together, and if those stitches are not in the right place, it's going to look off, it's going to feel off, and sometimes people even feel like, oh, this is exactly what I needed because I do feel better. I'm doing this, and I'm feeling better, and then 30 days later, 90 days later, 1 year later, they're back at the same situation, and they're dealing with it all over again. So that's usually a sign that what they've been applying is not what they need, and that's the misdiagnosis. So that's where we open that seam up, and we get to everything that is inside, from the methods that have been applied, to the experiences that have been endured, to the lessons that have been learned, the lifetimes that have been absorbed, the energies that have been received from relationships, whether they are parental relationships, lovers, co-workers, friends. We get to everything and everyone that has had the impact, and not only the impact, why certain impacts have been in the level that they've been in, and have touched the areas that they have touched. Why so and how? And that is what opening the seam is about. It's about getting into what is being stored inside of that stitching. And what creates the stitching are the belief systems and the methods. So it's very important that the improper methods are becoming undone.
Yeah. Okay, this is so exciting. We're going to take a short break, everyone. Carol Dorian is in the house. We have an offer on this show. It is really an unprecedented offer. We're going to take a short break. We have opened up the phone lines. And when we come back, Phyllis, we're going to get you right on. But for those of you out there, 1-800-930-2819. And what Carol is going to share again when we come back is not just about calling into the show, but she has got a pay it forward gift that is amazing to everyone out there to help everybody understand that we can heal. We can heal. And it is not a one size fits all. I can tell you a whole story about that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine. Have you ever said to yourself, what is this mess I'm in? Believe it or not, part of us wants it. We have asked for deeper work, to understand love, to step into our power, to choose differently. Then when we start engineering the circumstances, we want to control how it unfolds. Let's be honest. It's like asking the universe to help you create something, then saying, well, not like that. I want you to do it this way. If you are ready to shift into your best life, visit lesliefontaine.com and let's talk about unfolding all that you want to be, do, and have. You'll find sessions, classes, and audio products to help remove the blocks and move you into your potential. And listen to my show, Sheer Alchemy, on Transformation Talk Radio, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
It's that time of the year again. The Woman of Wisdom Fall Harvest Festival is right around the corner. Join us on October 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at North Seattle Community College Conference Center. Admission is free. Festivities include arts and crafts, energy healers, intuitive readers, delicious food, and more. Don't miss this fun-filled event. For more information, visit womanofwisdom.org. That is womanofwisdom.org, and we'll see you there.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn about the colors of your chakras? Well, now's your chance. Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, is hosting an event Friday, November 4th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in Mount Vernon. Every person will get a reading on the most prominent color in their aura. Join Lynn Brown November 4th at the Riverwalk Studio in Mount Vernon. To register for this event, call 360-588-4713. That's 360-588-4713.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. So great to have Carol Dorian joining us here today. Phone lines are open, 1-800-930-2819. And for those of you out there, Carol, before we jump ahead, please give out your website and, again, announce what your Pay It Forward offer is for us today.
Sure. I am doing a free full life reading with a spiritual diagnostic. So what that means is that when you call in after the show at 312-898-2288, 2285. Again, that's 312-898-2285. I will do a reading with you that is going to cover the past, present, future, love life, career, situations that involve people in your life. Also, it'll go into a chakra and aura reading. And through picking up on voice vibrations, I'm going to be able to do a spiritual diagnostic for you. So if there's an area in your lives where you're feeling stagnant or stuck, or maybe things are going in a really awesome direction and you'd just like some more insight and direction on how to keep that flow going, a spiritual diagnostic that is included in your full life reading will give you that. So again, that's at 312-898-2285. And if you log on to my site, spirituald.com, there's a lot of information about how my services work, what it is that we do when we're working with someone one-on-one. And basically, through the offer of the full life reading with the spiritual diagnostic, people will get to receive a first-hand understanding of what it feels like to work with me, how it is that I pick up on your vibrations, and what it is that you're storing and feeling. So it will provide light, clarity, and direction to the situations that have happened, that are happening now, and how they will unfold, giving you some direction and guidance to where it is that you are and where it is that you have the power to take it from here.
Wow. And for those of you out there, if you want to tune into Carol's show, Psychic Answers, Spiritual Solutions, Spiritual Diagnostics, the best way to do that is Tuesdays at noon Pacific Time, 3 Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Now, we have opened up the phone lines for those of you out here, and we want to make sure you know we're going to be taking calls now as well. 1-800-930-2819. Mr. Benny, who do we have first?
Yeah, we'll take Phyllis calling in from Redmond. Hello, Phyllis.
All right. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm thrilled. I can't believe everything that you just spoke. It's just so the amount of tools you have, and I'm whelmed. But I'm also, the reason that I first picked up the phone and went, oh, I hope I get in, is because I've just been doing some marvelous things for myself, standing up for myself in relationships and moving to a new wonderful apartment, and I'm setting up my craniosacral business in my spare room, and I wake up, and the other thing is just there's so much that's just going so well, and then I find myself waking up in the morning anxious and afraid. So I was wondering what you could help me with to move forward, with acceleration in my path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I was picking up by your voice vibrations is that in the last 6 to 8 months, you have definitely tapped into something within yourself that has activated release of negative residuals from your past, and you are at a really good place right now.
Wow.
I want to tell you that, and everybody who's listening, every single person has the key to unlock any locked door in their lives. Each and every one of us contain our own healing ability. So the main key and the main idea is to be able to find where it's at and the method that brings it out. What I love about your vibrations is I feel that you have done that. I feel that there was a situation, more than one, but there was one specific situation that you were holding on to for quite a while in your life, that even when you thought you had released it, it was still hanging there, and it had to do with the forgiving and releasing of certain people that were connected to a situation. And I feel like you've done that, and I feel like you've done it very effectively. You are on a path. You are on a very positive and wanted pattern. And the key for you to stay here is to identify what it is that you've released. Some people are in a situation where they need to do the releasing. And then there are people like you who need identification and confirmation of what they have released. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So that I don't still feel like, even though I've released it, they're still kind of lingering.
Yes, but I feel that you have released it, and I feel that you just need a little confirmation of what it is. Sometimes when we get that confirmation of what we know, it activates the rest of the ability that has actually been there forever, that has been stored. It starts to activate that healing, and it activates more progress. So if you're interested in us going into the specifics of what that is, give me a call after the show. But I hope that answers your question. Are you satisfied, or do you feel you'd like me to go a little more into it?
No, that's okay. If I'm going to, I'm dialing you now.
Thank you.
No, let's get me off the phone and let somebody else touch base with you, and I'll call you after the show.
Excellent. Thank you so much for calling. I look forward to talking to you.
Awesome. We're going to take a short break, everyone. When we come back, more with the Dr. Pat Show, more with Carol Dorian, more with all of you out there. We're going to do our very best, 1-800-930-2819. And we actually, wait a minute. Let's skip the break. Oh, my gosh. We got callers right here. Sorry, Benny. Sorry. Can we bring Stephanie on? And let's skip the old break if we could.
Stephanie's there. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Stephanie, how can we help you today?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey. Hi.
I am in a very big transformative time right now, and the worry is just almost consuming, but I have to, remind myself, okay, you're not alone in this. Ground, know that all is being taken care of, but can you give me any specific tools that I could use to just know that I am being taken care of and know that the best is out there?
Absolutely. You know, I want to start by telling you what I was feeling by your voice vibrations is that there are two major changes. One is already happening, and one is coming up. I feel like you are in a very good place. I feel like you have definitely made a very positive disconnection. I feel that you were at a time and a place where you were holding yourself accountable for situations that you really were not accountable for, and tying yourself to the service of others, and there's nothing wrong with helping people. That is wonderful. But tying yourself to people in a way that was draining and depleting your energy source. Can you identify and recognize that time?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I feel like you have disconnected from that vibrational frequency. So that's what places you in the time right now to achieve, excel, expand, and heal. Your healing is starting. It's here. It's now. I do feel that you do need a little confirmation. I feel that you also have some spiritual gifts, but you kind of doubt yourself sometimes. You kind of doubt the messages that you're hearing. And that connects to the vibration of what I call the inner guru. That's where you have your knowledge, you have your experience, you have your references, but sometimes you're not really taking that time to give yourself the acknowledgement Yes, I do know what's going on. Yes, I am where I need to be. Yes, I can hear myself clearly. So what I would say to you is that you need to honor yourself, recognize what it is that you have accomplished. I feel there's there's a tiny bit of residual. It is starting to break on its own, but you definitely need some facilitation of the breaking of that residual. Some of it is personal, and it's really stemming from about a 7.5 to 8 year period of time. So if I don't want to go into things that are too personal over the air. So if you'd like to call me back after the show at 312-898-2285, we will do your free reading and your spiritual diagnostic, and through that, you will have the understanding, the tool, and the connection to what it is that you've already accessed that will facilitate your journey and take you further.
I will do that, because right now what I'm feeling in the core of my body is just, it's like it wants to just jump out. This is time.
I do feel you're in a good place. I just feel that you need to have an understanding of what's brought you here, so that you do not go, so that you're not going back to where you were prior. But the healing, it's there. But there's a few personal things that I'm picking up on that you need to acknowledge and tap into to access that healing and take it a step further.
Awesome.
I will be calling you. So
wow, you're gonna have a blast. This is gonna be so good. Awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. Wow. Now, Mr. Benny, we have someone that would like to make a comment calling into the show.
Yeah, it's Joni calling in from Chicago.
Hey, Joni from Chicago. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joni.
Hello.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, of course. So the reason for my call today is more of a testimonial to Carol and what she's done for me in my life. I was just stepping out of the office. I don't know how to make this call. Basically, I am calling to say that, I listened to Carol on her spiritual diagnostic show, and I received my free reading, and which was amazing, by the way. And we started my spiritual journey with her. And since I've been working with Carol, my depression, which was something that was really hanging over my head, has gotten so much better. I feel extremely balanced in my life. At work, I can focus better. And I had a very bad relationship that I was in. And since working with Carol, I was able to disconnect from that relationship, which was, anybody that's been in a relationship will know, disconnecting from someone that you love but know it's not the best thing for you is very hard. And I know that I could not have done it without Carol. I was able to move forward and connect with someone who is the love of my life now. And through meditation and the tools, yes, Carol, and through the meditation and the tools that she has been able to give to me to heal myself and to work through these battles in my life, I am so very grateful for. So grateful for. I know that I could not have done it without Carol.
Oh, Joni, thank you so much. I just want to say that you used the key word, heal yourself, the tools that we accessed together to heal yourself. And it's so nice of you to call in, and I thank you so much. That is so awesome, everything that you've said. I do want you to recognize continually and to understand that these were your tools, your abilities, that through the process we introduced you to. The healing, the ability within. And it was so amazing working with you because I remember in the beginning, is it okay if I share a little bit?
Oh, please. Yes. Yes, I don't mind at all.
Okay, thank you. Just, want to honor your privacy. I remember in the beginning when we started working together, you were just like at a place where you didn't have any belief in the things that you already knew for a fact. You were having a lot of doubt of things that you already knew completely and totally. And just because they were your own experiences, that is what was making you doubt them. And if they were somebody else's, you could see the validity in other people, but you couldn't see it in yourself. And that is very common when you are with somebody who is depleting your energy, draining you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. But if you notice, as we went deeper into the process and you came to the point when you were starting to understand and connect to whatever it is that you have been through is valid. Whatever it is that you have learned is important, and you actually did learn it. That's what accessed the healing. So many of us have actually gone through exactly what we need to go through. We have learned exactly what we need to learn from our experience. Yet, we're repeating the cycle continually. We're not receiving the change. We're not reaping the fruits of our labor and of the experiences that we have gone through. And in Joni's healing, the key was properly diagnosing where it was stemming from, what belonged to her, and what did not belong to her. And we accessed a lot of spiritual DNA information. And once we tapped into the exact portion and energy that the problem was coming from, the healing took place naturally and on its own.
Wow. That's all. I'm telling you, this just keeps on going. My gosh. Now, look, we have about 3 minutes left, and we have another caller. Mr. Benny, let's see what we can do here today.
Sure, quickly. Fran from Tacoma. Hello.
Fran.
Hello.
Okay,
Hi.
you got a couple minutes,
you.
but here's the good news. You're going to be able to call Carol after the show.
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
All right, how can we help you here in 2 minutes?
Okay, well, all right. Well, I know that I'm empathic some, and I just have been feeling a lot of anxiety, and I have this paperwork that I need to get done. It's a humanitarian project, and it's just kind of over my head. And anyway, so I kind of have a head cold and my earache this week, and I'm just wondering. I think I have a lot of questions, but it's the anxiety right now, and I meditate, and I know to be by myself some because that helps me, and I'm just wondering what you might be able to tell me.
The instant vibration that I pick up on is turbulence and chaos, and I feel that it doesn't belong to you. It is not yours, but it is starting to affect your immune system and the conduct of things that you need to get done. And once you tap into and discover who that energy belongs to, you can disconnect it. Give me a call after the show at 312-898-2285, and I would love to expand on that with you.
Yeah, and I want to tell everybody, listen, we're not done here. Carol's show tomorrow noon on Transformation Talk Radio, everybody. Wow, Carol, this is rockin'. I can't wait till we do this again. You rock.
It was awesome being here. Thanks.
All right. For those of you that miss calling in, don't worry. Don't worry. Carol's going to do this. She does a great job. And by the way, transforming lives. That's what Transformation Talk Radio is about. TransformationRadio.fm. Oh my goodness, wait till you see what is going to be unleashed to the world. And I wish I could take some credit for it, but I cannot. It has taken on a life of its own. Stay tuned, everybody. Lots more coming up.
preceding audio was via a Skype call.